Welcome to Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. Anything and everything you need to know when it comes to your real estate needs right here in the state of Arizona. Hey, Arizona, what do you say? Well, I say this is Jason Bates, Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show, the host of this podcast, Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. And I want to take this time to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to what I have to say. And if you want to reach out to me, you can certainly do so by visiting my website at www.valleyofthesunrealestateShow. From there, you can connect with me on any social media platform. You can email me, you can call me directly, however you want to reach out to me. It's all right there. And if you're listening to me on iTunes, please write a review of the show, as it is the only way, or one of the only ways, that I have to improve the show. So good, bad, or indifferent, I really would appreciate your feedback. In today's show, I have a very special guest with me today, and I'm very excited to have her as part of this podcast episode and in future episodes as well, because this is going to be a little bit of a series here for us. Her name is Tracey Swift. She's a licensed realtor with Coldwell Banker here in Scottsdale and services the entire Phoenix metropolitan area. Tracey has obtained the National Association of Realtors Green designation and is also a certified military relocation specialist. Not many people know this outside of Phoenix, but there are quite a few military bases around in and around Phoenix. So Tracey is an expert in helping military families relocate here to Phoenix and beyond that. Tracey has also won numerous customer service awards, including the 2014 North Scottsdale Individual Customer Satisfaction Award, Most Outgoing Referrals, and has been awarded Best of Trulia 2014. Tracey, with that introduction, how are you doing today?
Hi, Jason. How are you? And thanks for inviting me to be on your show.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you, because you are the expert when it comes to today's topic, which is demystifying green homes and how to search for a green home. There's a lot of information out there when it comes to green homes. There's a lot of media blitz about going green. And so having you on as part of this episode is absolutely a pleasure to have you here. So I really appreciate you doing this for us.
Well, thank you. And yes, I definitely am excited about speaking about a topic that's very dear to my heart, and also something that's in the news, as you said, frequently. And I think there's just so much information out there. And sometimes it's just so hard to know, what does green mean? Some people think it's more about just, protecting the environment or discussing about carbon footprints or going into political debate. But really, when push comes to shove, there really is an interest in green homes. And in fact, 7 out of 10 people believe that eco-friendly features add value to a home, per a National Association of Realtors survey in 2013. And more Americans are seriously considering purchasing green construction, new builds, or purchasing homes with energy-efficient upgrades, and determining now that the cost is worth it. For quite some time, people thought that if you wanted to go green, it cost you an arm and a leg, or you'd have to spend $20,000 on solar panels. But there are many, many ways you can actually find green homes that are, quickly just by searching in the MLS or Zillow and Trulia for green features. So one of the things I'd like to discuss is that green means a lot of things to different people. So when I speak with a buyer, I kind of want to know, what does green mean to them? And most of the time, it could fall into one of 3 categories. One is the environment where the home is located. They want walkable neighborhoods. They want to be close to transportation, like the light rail. They want to have some green space in parks, which, as you know, out here in Phoenix, sometimes there's just not much of that, but there's been a movement to increase the green space.
Yeah, there is a big movement, right? I mean, Phoenix is taking more, and with master plan communities, I mean, that's a big deal here in Phoenix, right? I mean, there's a lot of master plan communities that 10, 15 years ago, there were only a couple. So builders are taking notice of being green and providing that. So,
and absolutely, and there's tons of incentives for the builders as well as the buyers and even the sellers. And we can go on to that portion in another episode. Mm-hmm. But one of the other things, is energy savings, and I think that's the one that most people think about, and that can come in many forms. One could be simple as having Energy Star appliances. I think we're all familiar with the Energy Star logo, and it'll show how much it costs you to operate a refrigerator or a washing machine, and, using a front loader versus a top loading washing machine. And something like a tankless hot water heater, which when I first heard about those, I was afraid. I'm like, you're telling me I'm going to get enough hot water in this little thing? So a lot of people didn't want to adopt that right away, or they thought the cost wasn't worth it.
Right.
But now we have so many options from LED lights to water sense fixtures to reduce the amount of water we use, which, as you know, Jason, we have a drought issue in the state of Arizona and the entire West Coast.
Yep. Absolutely. Most people are talking about California, but Arizona is technically in a drought. But, hey, let's back up here for just 1 second, though, Tracey, because I want everybody to reach out to you who is in the market for a green home. So how do people get in touch with you? Where can they go to see you, visit you? How can they reach you?
Well, I'm on all the social media platforms, but you could always call me at 480-599-7746. I'm always have my phone on, and I could be reached also through my personal website, and it's Tracey Swift, and it's Tracey Swift. So all one word, Tracey Swift at CB, and that's C like Charles, B like boy, in touch. So the word CB in touch, all one word, .com.
Awesome.
That is my business website. And I also spend a lot of time on Facebook. I have a community page called Phoenix Fun, and that's capital P, capital H, capital X, and then the word fun. And I'm also on Twitter at SwiftlySaid38. And last but not least, you can always find me on LinkedIn. You just look up my name, Tracey Swift, and you'll see that there will be a realtor in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that's me.
All right, perfect. Okay, cool. So that's if you're in the market out there and you're looking for a green home, you need to talk to somebody like Tracey. You need to talk to Tracey because Tracey has a designation that is designated by the National Association of Realtors. She has taken classes on being green and what a green home is and how it, impacts the environment and all that kind of stuff. So if you're in that market and looking for that, then you need to be with Tracey. Absolutely. So please reach out to Tracey. Okay, so with that being said, let's you said 7 out of 10 people believe eco-friendly features add value to a home. I want to tell listeners too, because not only when you're purchasing a home, but if you're in a home already, I know a lot of people are getting the Nest, and some of these other, Honeywell kind of thermostats where it, automatically adjusts to your lifestyle, if you will.
Absolutely.
Those are all part of green things, right?
Neat product.
Yeah. And I know there's services out there, too, that you can pay for, but, the Nest and what's the other one, the Apple one? Is that the Nest? Is that the same thing? I don't have one, but
kind of work on the same platform. I mean, The whole point of those devices is to really have more control over your heating and air conditioning and obviously to reduce your bills and to be better for the environment. And it really makes sense for people that, either travel a lot or, it's a second home. And they also want to make sure, if they aren't there for a long time, is the air conditioning working or is the heater working? So not only is it just being green or savings, but it's also having control of your home remotely, which is just incredible what you could do now from a cell phone. So yeah, that's definitely a very, very popular thing. And homes that have that are very much in demand. And I think, originally it was kind of more of a toy, but it's really catching on. It really is a really effective device. Well,
and I want to say something here because this whole green movement and stuff, I think it's awesome. I love it. I'm green as much as I can be myself. And you can take, and I want people to understand that you can take your current AC unit and make it more efficient. You don't have to buy a new AC unit to make it more efficient. So by using some of these other products like the Nest and having it programmed from when you're there and when you're not there and doing those sort of things, you make that and you extend the life cycle of that unit. I mean, AC is a big deal here in Arizona, especially right now during the monsoon, and it's just blazing hot out there. So, people say, oh, well, you turn it up to 78 degrees. Okay, well, yeah, you can, but, some people just sweat at 78 degrees. I mean, you got to have it down to 74 or something like that for some people. But you don't need it down to 74 during the day when you're not there. So having these other things make it more efficient, and it will lower your bills. So it's actually a really nice upgrade. And I think, I think you're absolutely right. I think buyers are going to start looking for these features in homes in the future. Absolutely. I think it's happening now.
I think that there's just a real push for it, especially with the millennial generation, which is now effectively bigger than the baby boomer generation. And they're letting me know, a lot of my clients are first-time home buyers, and they're saying, Tracey, wow, does this house have solar? Or, oh, look how cool they have the Nest. Or, oh, they have a tankless hot water heater. Or a solar-powered pool heater, another thing, because as we all know, heating a pool in Arizona, despite how hot it is right now, it's really expensive to heat a pool.
Absolutely.
And it's not really energy efficient. So we're looking at all these options. And people, I think when you realize that 40% of your utility costs is your heating and cooling. And I'd say in Arizona, it's more cooling than heating, but,
Right.
you take it on average.
Right.
Around the country, whether you're in Arizona, New York, or California, 40% of your bills are going to be heating and cooling. And the water heater, which a lot of people forget about, is 12%. So if you add those two together,
Wow.
that's 52%
Wow.
that you could kind of control.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. 12% just for your water heater alone?
Yeah, and a lot of these old ones are just so inefficient.
Yeah.
And, we could have another topic about all the different changes in water heaters and ACs. But, yeah, it is a very, very some of them are very inefficient.
Wow, that's a lot. That is, I didn't realize that. That's a lot. Holy cow. So, all right, so water heaters, tankless water heaters, are a good thing. I just replaced my water heater, too, and I was debating on that, and it was a little out of my price range. But if you can afford it, obviously go with the hot water heater. It would add value to the property. I do believe that. I just unfortunately couldn't afford it, so I couldn't do that. But if you can, that's definitely a feature I think that that a lot of buyers are going to be looking for sure.
Exactly. And then the last thing that people care about as well, and this is a very big deal in Arizona, despite our beautiful weather, sometimes, I came from the East Coast, I didn't notice this. We have somewhat of an air quality problem here, between all
Yeah.
the highways and the dust. And, you first come out here and say, wow, everything's so beautiful, the sky is so blue. And then you get those bad air quality days. And, that is something that people are now doing, especially the new home builders, with creating a better air quality inside the home by sealing it more properly and then having circulators in the house. And people really care about that. And, even with allergies, we have these new things now, these paints that reduce the volatile compounds in paints that cause allergies. So there are a lot of things out there. And I think the real point of this podcast and this whole audio session is to really talk about the various green terms you may see in the MLS when
Yep.
searching for a home, and or looking at Zillow or Trulia, or doing your own research, because I learned there's at least 10 things I've never heard of in my life until I came out here.
Right.
And also obviously focusing on my green designation, but there's a big push for low E windows. Basically, they're low emissivity coating, and it reduces your AC bills. And I think Jason and I were talking about this. You can see it in commercial buildings. When you have that kind of coating, it looks like almost like you can't look into a house, but then you can see out of it. That really is an incredible way to reduce your air conditioning bills.
Yep.
So low E windows is one. Mechanical sunshades, I think we're all somewhat familiar with those. Some of them could be quite, ugly and old, but the new ones that they have right now are just incredible.
Yep.
You can really just look outside and it looks like daylight, and you're like, oh, the house must be too dark. I don't want that. It's expensive. But again, another option, especially in places, I service an area in Fountain Hills where you have these beautiful views and people don't want to, I want to be able to see everything, but
Right.
these actually are really effective.
Right. Absolutely.
And
Yeah, and let me just say too that I have that coating on my windows, and it makes a huge difference. A huge difference. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, when I replace my windows, I'm definitely going to go that route. I still have the old ones. I'm doing my best here, but my house is built in the 80s, so there's going to be a lot of green upgrades when it comes due. I just did the water sense
Yep.
features in my bathroom remodel, and I'm just thrilled with them, because at first, I'm a person who likes to, have a really nice shower, and I don't want something that drips out of it and going, oh, I'm saving water. And meanwhile, it's just the most
Yeah, you can't wash the soap out of your hair, right?
Really great features that you're still having the water pressure that you expect in a regular sink or shower. And I've seen a huge difference
Yeah.
in my water bills. And also another thing is variable speed pool pumps is another thing. I never
Yep.
heard of those, but they run at different speeds so you can reduce your electric bill, because your pool pump is just an energy drain. I mean, I don't know about you, Jason, if you have a pool, but
Yep, I do.
I make sure mine runs off the peak hours.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
No, it is. And let me say something, because I was, I'm really close right now buying a variable speed pump, and the pool companies, and I'm not trying to diss them here or call them out, but they wanted me to buy a whole pump, right? The catcher, the basket or whatever, and the whole deal. And I went to a pool supply place that doesn't sell pools, and they just sell parts for some of the pool suppliers here in the valley. And they said all you need is the back pump, the back motor, the variable speed motor. You don't need to replace the whole pump. It's like 4 bolts. You put it on. It's real simple. So if you're wanting to purchase a home, it's not that difficult. It's not like you do a bunch of plumbing to replumb the pool to get this variable speed pump to work. It's just the pump, the motor itself on the back of the pump, or back of the housing of the pump, if you will. So I thought that was like, oh, really? I was kind of stupid to the whole thing. I thought I had to buy the whole kit and caboodle. You know what I mean? I thought I had to buy the whole thing, when in fact all you got to do is buy the motor on the back of it is all. So
well, that's great, and I think you're going to see a huge difference in your bills. And it's, again, something that wasn't probably an arm and a leg, and that's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, I haven't bought it yet, but I'm really close to pulling the trigger on that one.
Perfect. One of the other things too, and you know, Jason, you're probably familiar with this, because anybody who sees any of these home and gardens television shows, you're seeing these sustainable, or you see this word sustainable flooring, which could be natural or recycled, reclaimed, doesn't have toxic chemicals. It could be anything from bamboo flooring or just recycled wood. I mean, there's so much out there that people are reusing, and rather than going to landfills or being incinerated, we could really use these things. And there's so many people in the valley. I know several stores in central Phoenix and downtown Phoenix that are using these old, pieces of wood and doing incredible things, from, whether it's flooring or whether it's making a table out of it. And it's just so much, it's so nice to see it, because you just, you think, wow, that's imaginative. I never would have thought it. I just give it to the Goodwill or throw it away,
Right.
But there's a lot of options out there, just little things that really make a difference in being green. And again, it's not like you need to have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 investment. And I just think everything does make a difference. People say it doesn't, one person doesn't make a difference, but it does, and I think that the more people who do it, we will see, a much better, sustainable environment in not only in the Phoenix metro area, but, around the globe.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So
okay. Well,
one of the other things I was going to talk to you about, I think, Jason, you wanted to know about green terminology that is confusing to people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I would definitely want to touch base on that, because, again, you're going to see some of these terms, some of these things that are listed on the MLS. If your realtor hands you, an MLS listing, you may see some of these things. And if you're a realtor listing a home with some of these features and you're not listing these things, then shame on you for not doing that, because these are things that consumers are looking for. These are the items that, people want to know as features as part of the home. Exactly.
And it just makes sure that, people know you're paying attention. You want to be on the cutting edge. You want to be where the buyers are. And you also want to encourage your sellers and to advertise when you're listing a home that these features are there. Because in the end, it's just something else that differentiates you from the crowd. And as we know, our cycles here in Arizona, they go up and go down. But what makes your home different, and what is that buyer looking for? That, one thing that you may not be important to you, but in the end, listen to what the buyers say. And they are out there and they are asking these questions. And especially, like I said, the millennials, it is very important to them. We used to think the bigger the house, the better. People are going, smaller. I mean, we can go into hours on other things about tiny home movements and all that kind of stuff, or whether it's a fad or whether it's a real thing. But there's just a lot of this out there on the internet, on television, large corporations, the home builders, everybody is involved. And there's 3 very important terms that confused me. And when I did my designation, I was finally happy to understand them fully. And we talk about Energy Star and we think of the Energy Star appliances, but there's also an Energy Star certification. And that's when a home has been inspected and tested and verified to meet strict EPA guidelines. And if a home is listed as an Energy Star home, it has to have a certificate to confirm that this statement is true, because there's a lot of people out there, and it's sad to say, you think everybody's professional, but they're not. They'll throw out there because it sounds cool, but they really don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
And this is something that is very strict, and it's very much, protected under the EPA guidelines.
That's good to know. I'm glad, because it has to come with a certification. It just can't be words. So Correct. If somebody says that, if you're listening and you're in that market, then ask to see a copy of the certification. I didn't know that. I just learned something. So that's good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I'm glad that I could, share that information, because I thought Energy Star, I'm like, oh, you have a couple of appliances, big deal.
Yeah, it's a yellow sticker that sits on the side of the...
a different process, and it's very, very, very detailed. And the other one is LEED. Yep. And I think a lot of people get confused between LED lights and LEED. And it confused me, because I'm like, what are all these LEED buildings? And I keep hearing it, and this is more so in commercial real estate, but it does exist in residential resale. And that is leadership in energy and environmental design. And it basically says you're best in class. And there's different levels, and I think they call them gold, silver, platinum, and all that kind of stuff. But, just to get to the point quickly on that, it is a global term. It's used a lot in commercial buildings. You'll see it even on the news lately with Phoenix, and whether a building is green, they're usually referring to the LEED certification. And again, it's a rigorous process to be certified. And, the average homeowner is probably not going to do that. I've found that most of the homes that are LEED certified tend to be the home builders that are doing this. And, when they're building huge master plan communities, they may be going for that certificate. But apparently there are residential resale out there that can do that. I just think that for the average homeowner, it's probably very hard to retrofit and justify the cost. But again, another term that you'll see. And the last is the HERS rating, which is a nationally recognized energy rating system. And that's about how efficiently your home is operating. So it's almost like the Energy Star appliances, where you see that, okay, this home is at this level. And believe it or not, instead of you don't want to be 130, you want to be 70 or 80. Now, that's a very hard thing to get. But the way the HERS system works, again, it's regulated and it's nationally recognized. And you would have to have proof of that. Again, no one can just say, oh, my house is a 90 or 100, because you need to prove that, and it is certified. And that is, again, assigned how efficient your home is operating their various
systems. What does HERS stand for? Tell me.
The Home Energy Rating System.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, those. So you'll see those on the MLS listing in some cases, right? Yeah. And so that's good information. That's awesome. That's great information. So if you see that on an MLS listing, now you know what they stand for and what they mean. And a lot of these things, if you have them, I would imagine they would add some kind of value to the property.
Yes. And sometimes it could be anything, 20, 30%, even more. It's really depending on, what your buyer is looking for. But in generally speaking, the green homes will sell quicker and they will sell for more money. And, it's sort of like, when you upgrade a kitchen, you upgrade a bath. Now, we're not going to say you're going to get 100% back, but you got to remember that even if you get 80% back, and your home can sell quicker, really, that's what you're trying to do in the end. You want to get good value as a buyer, and as a seller, you want to sell your home as quick as possible. So it's not just being green or caring about the environment. It also makes economic sense. And it's also the way, that I'm seeing, the future, as in, constantly in my office, we're talking about how can we be more green in the business. I even go as far as I'm not printing as many MLS data sheets when I go to open houses, because you have all this paper, and it's like
you can pull it up on your pad, your iPad or whatever, too.
Exactly. Everybody's going, mobile and digital, and people don't want to have these fat presentations. When I do my listing presentations, I do them on my iPad or on my PC, and and people like it. If they want to have a copy, I send them, I PDF it and I put it out there. I have a cloud CMA. I put it out on the cloud. I can just download it immediately to someone's phone. Right. So again, small little things that you could do every day for your own business and greening your own business, not just your home.
Now, one thing I would suggest here too to our listeners is that we've gone over a lot of things here as far as what you can do to improve your home. And there's thousands of other things that you can do, right, to improve and make your home, quote unquote, green. But you want to, talk to somebody like Tracey about what is going to get the most bang for your buck. There's a lot of advertising, some false advertising out there that, green carpet, for example, is better or something, but is it going to add value to your home? But you may pay more for it to put it in the home. And so you may not get that value back out when you go to sell. Until everybody catches up with this, green, I don't want to say movement, but, making your house more efficient, then you can start investing in other things. I don't want to suggest that you need to go out there and make your home completely green in order to sell your home. That's not what this show's about. It's just to show some of the things, some of the terms you're going to see on green homes, and some of the things that might be important, and some of the trends that we're seeing that are out there. So, I know with who's the guy with Tesla? He's got these new home batteries right now. It's kind of a craze right now, and they're going to start putting them in the homes and put homes off the grid for the electricity use, and the batteries just fit right on your wall. They're pretty small, so technology is always evolving. But I don't want you to think that you should go out there and put all these green things in there, and then you're going to get dollar for dollar back out, because you can spend literally thousands of dollars on making your house green. And some of the stuff is just simply not going to add value to the home. It's just not. So you need to talk to somebody like Tracey, where she can tell you exactly where you're going to get most bang for your buck, as far as value goes, and what's out there, what the trend is, what people are actually looking for right now. So
exactly. And Jason, to reiterate your point, it's so true, because we all get phone calls all the time about all the things we can purchase on our home, whether it be solar or anything else that's, an energy efficient appliance. And a lot of people will tell you, oh, you'll get 100% back. We all know, maybe if it's someone's dream home, you might be lucky. But in general, you have to do it, one, because you believe in it, you think it's worth it.
Right.
And the market is going that direction. You want to be ahead of the curve. And you know what? It's cost and benefit, but in the end, there are a lot of simple things you can do out there that are not going to break the bank. And simple as, like I said, with the water sense faucets that I did, they cost me maybe $20 more. They look super cool,
right?
And I know I'm going to recoup that cost in my water bills. I've already seen it,
Right.
Solar can be, debatable, because, leases could cause issues with your home. We can do a whole other session on that. But
I actually have an episode on that. But those can be a little bit complicated.
Exactly. So I'm out there to help you. On my Phoenix Fun page, which again is PHX Fun. I don't just focus on green topics. While it is, something that's very important to me, I also spend a lot of time on there talking about cool local events and focusing on local and small businesses, which is, again, something that is also very much part of the green movement is, keeping your money local and finding positive things about our community, promoting our community and the growth of our community in a sustainable manner. So again, not just, look at my listings all day, but there's other cool things on there that I think people would enjoy. And you can always find me on Swiftly Said 38, all one word, on Twitter. And my email again is tracy.swift@azmoves.com. You can find me on LinkedIn under Tracey Swift. And my personal website again is Tracey Swift, all one word, @cbintouch.com. So I would love to talk. I'd love to have any questions. Any concerns you have, I'm certainly out there to help, and I really would enjoy, any feedback.
No, Tracey, you do a great job, and it's not just with green homes, but any home. So if you're out there looking for a home, I think having you as part of that person's team is just a fantastic addition, because not only do you know about the non quote unquote green homes, but you know about the green homes, so you can differentiate between the two. And like I said, you taught me some things new here about the Energy Star certification, the LEED, and the HERS. So those are things that I wasn't aware of. And so to have somebody like you kind of point those things out when looking at homes, I think that's fantastic. So if you're out there looking for a home, whether it be a green home or not a green home, whatever your fancy is, then Tracey is the person that you should be calling. So please reach out to her for sure.
Well, thank you, Jason. And certainly Jason's a great business partner to work with as well. So certainly contact Jason as well for your mortgage needs. We enjoy doing hopefully some more shows relating to various real estate topics. And,
For sure.
I look forward to hearing from everyone.
Absolutely. No, this is going to be a little bit of a series here on Green Homes. So please stay tuned for the next one. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to what we had to say today about being green. So thank you very much. And please visit my website, www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com. And from there, you can reach out to me, call me, however you want to reach out to me. It's all right there. So thank you all for listening today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to what we had to say. And until next time, happy house hunting. Bye-bye.
Jason Bates, NMLS 220798, mortgage banking license 0119128, equal housing lender. Sound effects provided by soundwave.com.